this madness in the name of your king!
The long night is coming, and the dead come with it. No clan can stop them. The free folk can't stop them. The Night's Watch can't stop them, and all the Southern Kings can't stop them. Only together. All of us. And even then it may not be enough, but at least we'll give the fuckers a fight.
Hello, my sweet summer children. I'm back with some juice to get you through the long night. Hello, happy Sunday, happy Direwolf Sunday, DireWolfCity Sunday, everyone. We are here today. We are missing Mandy today. She'll be back next week, but people are telling me that the Ravens scored. I did not know the Ravens played at this time, but it's all good. It's all good. Hopefully the Ravens beat Kansas City. It's great. I can't believe you're going live during the Ravens game. The things I do for love. The things I do for love. So today we are going to be talking about the sand snakes. So the daughters of Oberyn Martell. We're really going to focus on the older daughters of Oberyn. So Oberyn, Nymeria, Tyene, and Sorella. We could talk about Elia if you want to, but yeah,
just
we're going to.
little.
Okay.
I mean, we touched on her. We touched on it in our Arian video as well. If you guys haven't seen that, but I mean, just a little. She might come up. She'll probably come up.
Yeah. So the sand snakes in the TV show Game of Thrones were like mildly annoying.
Am I just
mildly
Annoying. So
it was just downright secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah.
Every time they came on screen.
Awful, because they're some of like my favorite book characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love me a good ass group of some badass girls.
Yeah.
Give me that. Also, like Alaria's character, even though she's not a sand snake, but she is the mother of four of them. So four of them. So like her character was completely assassinated in the show. Like,
yeah.
Like she
wasn't like as dumb. She wasn't anything like.
She wasn't violent like that. Like if you look in the books, she's like really passive. Like she doesn't want war. So for her to be the one to stab Doran, like it makes zero sense, like at all. It goes to show you that the writers truly just didn't care for Doran.
Yeah.
Well, it stinks because they threw such a good actress out the window, you know, and that last scene she's in with Tyene in the dungeon with Cersei. Honestly, I think her acting was on par with Cersei's, and she didn't with Lena Headey's, and she didn't even say anything. She just sat with a gag. It was all in her eyes. It was perfect. And they just wasted such a good actress on some weird hiss with me sisters bullshit.
Yeah, they wrote her really poorly. Also, guys, Tyene is not Ilaria's child.
Yeah. She's not.
Throw that out there.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about who they are. Let's go through their backstories a little bit when it comes to the sand snake. So let's start with Oberyn. Oberyn is the daughter of a whore of Old Town.
Sex worker.
A whore.
A sex worker of Old Town.
A lady of the night.
A lady of the night.
A mistress of the sheets, a master of the sheets. I don't know. Either way, it's sad, like this, how Oberyn's mother, like, so I love me some Oberyn Martell. Love him down. But the way he like went over there and took Oberyn from the mother and like
Dude, the way did he like throw it was like a spear at her or something like that? I was like some type of weapon and was like, you choose. You gonna stay here with her? You coming with me?
Do you want the spear? What's gonna be your weapon? The spear or the tears?
Yep. And she's like, spear for 200 Alex.
So two things about that scene that just don't sit right with me. I think George kind of struggles with writing just a wee bit in Game of Thrones, but then by Clash, it's just perfect, flawless, no critique. One of my few critiques would be that instance where Oberyn threw down a spear to, I'm guessing she was either a small child or a toddler. And it was really like Scooby-Doo at that Monster Girl school vibes for me. Just a little cliche, like, I use a spear and you are my progeny and you will use a spear. But my other thought was, I don't think it was wrong of Oberyn to take the child from the mother. I just think it was wrong for him not to set up lodgings for her near, unless she really wanted to continue doing sex work. I think Oberyn just knew between the two of them
Did she kill herself?
I would say, yeah, I think she like drank herself to death essentially.
Jesus.
If I'm not mistaken. But she is his firstborn child. Mm-hmm. And I think they say by the time of the novel, Obara is like about 30 or almost 30. So I'm assuming he had her very, very young. So he probably might have been like a teenager himself. So yeah, teenagers are dumb.
I think it was right of him to claim his daughter.
Oh, definitely, right?
But at the same time, it's like the least you could have done. It's not like Dorne
provided
upon. Yeah, you didn't even have to take her as a paramour necessarily, but you could have at least brought her to. I'm sure it was no skin off of his nose to bring her near Sunspear and at least give her a comfortable house.
All thing I can think of is just him being a teenager and just being irresponsible, more or less, and then him trying to clean up his responsibilities by like, oh yeah, her mom's kind of unfit. Maybe I should go get her. Like, try to redeem for where he messed up. Because I mean, he's infallible at the end of the day. He's just a guy.
Yeah. Before we go any further, I just want to get to a few super chats. So we have a super chat from Count Valerian of House Tatters. No man that quoted the show Sand Snake dialogue may sit the Flintstone chair.
It does not sound comfortable anyway. So
Micah McFadden, thank you for the super chat. I'm on time for once, but even though I'm from Baltimore, I love to watch the Ravens lose. Like, don't be throwing salt on the Ravens. Like, they might not lose. Like, I did talk to somebody though earlier today, and they were like, do you know the Ravens play tonight? They're gonna get their ass beat. Go ahead, Alicia.
Oh, there's a question about where Nim is, where Mandy is. Mandy will be back.
Our resident sand snake is on a secret mission right now, so she'll be back next week.
I think Edric's already put something about her being on a hot date with her hostage. He won't let that go.
He will not let that.
He won't let it go. You've just given him more fodder.
Nim is, heading to King's Landing, on a secret mission. She'll be back next week.
So, Oberyn.
Yes.
Oberyn currently is going to fight
High Hermitage. So she's going to High Hermitage with Balon
for the Dark
Swan
Star, right?
Yes, ma'am. So essentially what's going on there is they are, and by they, I mean like Doran, Arianne, Myrcella, like they're concocting a lie to explain why Myrcella's missing an ear and Sir Eris Oakheart is dead. That lie is that Sir Gerald actually, I don't think he's a Sir. Whatever. Darkstar obviously is the one who took off her ear, but they're going to blame Darkstar for Eris Oakheart's death as well. And the whole point of that is to get Sir Balon Swan to obviously do his duty and avenge his princess who's been harmed. So Obara is going with Balon Swan to find Geraldine in High Hermitage. And that's where we leave off with her.
Do you think Darkstar goes out like that?
I don't even think Sir Balon Swan's making it. I think they're going to kill him.
He's a total red shirt.
Yeah, that and then the fact that like Doran like reveals like, yeah, they want to take Trystane back and they're going to ambush us and kill Trystane. I'm already hip, so we're not doing that.
I'm not really concerned about
I agree.
Like for me, good riddance to Balon Swan.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm as concerned about Ario Hota as much as I am for Obara, because I think he could definitely kill her unless Darkstar joins in the mix. But I don't know. I see him making another getaway probably because he's snivelly like that. But if there were a face-off, because a lot of people feel like Obara is going to betray Hota, and Hota is going to die at High Hermitage. I think he might have to defend himself against Obara, to be honest.
He will whip Obara's ass.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, I wouldn't want to see that because who's going to be our POV, guys? So,
right. Yeah,
I'm being annoying. Like, logistically speaking, who else are we going to know? Like, we're not getting any new people, apparently, allegedly, whatever.
Good point, Alan Thompson. Darkstar is going to have an epically pathetic death, since there's been this resurgence of people who love The Mummy Returns. It'll be like that high priest Anaxuna Moon, when she runs away and she just falls into a pit and gets eaten by scarabs, and it's super anticlimactic. I think that'll be like Darkstar. Yeah, he's gonna tuck tail and run, and he's gonna die in the most stupid way possible.
Can he wear a fishnet dress too? Like a nice beaded dress. Sorry. I'm sorry. I just thought that dress was super hot.
It was a hot dress. I just don't understand the Darkstar thirst, because I think he's a coward.
It's because he's a Dane.
That's I'm a coward.
So I came to the conclusion I just like fictional characters that have white hair or some type of white in their hair. Yeah, I had a tweet about it earlier.
I saw that.
Yeah, I had a tweet about this earlier. I'm like, I hate zebra.
Edric said the sand snakes are the BDSM characters of Song of Ice and Fire.
So I'm
always causing trouble.
I'm trying this thing where I'm not gonna say the two words that I always say whenever the sand snakes are brought up, because I want to be different tonight. I'm not going to say it, but I feel like Edric's going to stir it out of me by the end of the night.
Yeah.
In the chat, how long do you guys think Alicia might last without saying the words that you guys know she's going to say?
I give her 10 minutes more.
I'm going to
set that's being really nice.
I'm going to set
give
an
her
right now.
Until we get to Tyene. Once we get to Tyene, I don't know. It's going to be real hard.
I just feel like she's not going to be able to do it, but I also know how stubborn she can be.
Thank you.
I also know how stubborn she can be, so she probably will make it the whole stream.
I'm so detrimentally stubborn.
So Jackie C says 2 minutes. Michael McFadden 20. My pussy
10.
stands fat. 50. 60 seconds.
Nice username.
BP and T minus 10 minutes. Oh yeah.
They don't have Little Wolf Liana said 3.
I hope there aren't children listening to this episode.
There's not a single one of you that said, Alicia, I believe in you. So fuck you guys.
Jason said it's the whole point of the stream. Please say it'll literally make his week.
Alicia, would you like to read that in your
Ghost of High Heart voice? Yeah. So we have a super chat from Emily Christina. If she had been in the show, who would you cast as Ariane? I read A Feast for Crows for the first time this year, and I pictured her as Lily Collins. I would put her as Zendaya. I love Zendaya as Chani in Dune. So yeah.
I just love Zendaya as anything.
Yeah, me too. I love her as Euphoria.
I would cast a darker skinned actress just because her mom's from Norvos and her dad's a Sandy Dornish, so the likelihood of her being super pale is slim to actually 0. So, and she's described as being a darker skinned woman. Well, not super dark skinned, but a browner woman. So I would probably put her
with a round belly and very big brown nipples. Yes.
Yeah.
I believe that's what Kerm
Ariane?
said. Yeah.
Yeah.
a round belly and big brown nipples.
She's I think she's just thick. She's thick.
Yeah.
She's thick. She's like shapely.
I'm saying round belly, but I think when Aris Oakheart is in his point of view chapter, when he's sleeping with her, he describes her naked body, and she's got belly.
Oh, she might be a little too old. Maybe with like a little bit more of a tan, but Dasha Polanco from Orange is the New Black.
Mm-hmm.
She's like mad curvy, and she has like
someone
those,
said Salma Hayek.
Those eyes. Oh, a younger Salma Hayek with the eyes, like I feel like Ariane has like those dreamy, lusty eyes, like those. Hey, Aerosol Cart, what's up? But we'll see how that's gonna work for her.
Someone said Germ got a fetish for big nipples. He does. He does.
As
big areolas.
I
think we should all take a time to appreciate that.
Yeah, let's appreciate them.
Moment of silence for big areolas.
Moment of silence.
Okay.
So let's move on to the next sand snake, which is Nymeria Sand. So Nymeria Sand, Nymeria Sand. Nymeria Sand is, her mom is like a noblewoman from Volantis. And she is going right now to King's Landing. She's going to take up Oberyn's seats on the council. So how do you see that playing out? Like, do you see Cersei being welcoming to Lady Nym?
With Lady Nym, I find her interesting. Like, one quote that I found that is when they're at dinner and Ario Hota was talking about how, like, oh, she's best when she's like close to being naked, because if not, she normally has like dozens of knives and blades hidden on her person. Like, Nymeria is low-key scary as fuck. Like, she really she's like wants to get it back in blood, like for real.
What's on top of it? She seems very cool and collected.
Yes,
and very pretty.
Very pretty. I can see at first Cersei being extremely insulted because she's already suspicious of Dorne, and they've just sent a bastard to sit on the High Council. But I kind of imagine Nym. Yeah, I kind of imagine Nym walking in like Tiffany New York does on every Flavor of Love reunion. You mad? You mad? Just like that. I'm the HBIC. However, I can also see Cersei warming up to Nym, because Cersei has kind of shown that she's partial to a bit of, I hate using this word, but for lack of better words, exotic BP. So does it count if I say the letters?
No, okay. It doesn't. No, it doesn't. You got that. Right. So like, yeah, I think she's gonna replace Taena in her eyes. And then not only that, like, Oberyn's daughters take after Oberyn. They're all like mad, super lusty on the low. But with Nymeria, where she's like super pretty, I think Cersei a little jealous at first, just a wee bit, not too much. But we know that the Martells and Tyrells do not get along. And know who Cersei doesn't like? Marjorie, and who's about the same age as Marjorie? Nymeria, and guess who's also cute? Nymeria. So I could definitely see Cersei possibly trying to like play them two against each other in a way. Well,
yeah,
because Marjorie like seems like the center of attention. She likes being the pretty lady at court, and Cersei just got her hair cut and looks kind of wild. So I think Nymeria's gonna come in and be the new hot girl.
Isn't Nymeria in her 20s?
Oh yeah, she is. She's a little older.
Because she's the second oldest?
She's the second oldest, yeah.
I feel like Cersei is gonna not like her at all. Like, I feel like she's gonna hate her because
suspicion, Cersei,
probably. Yeah, suspicion, and also because she's getting more obsessed with this Maggie the Frog prophecy, and like this beautiful Dornish girl has come to court, and like that's gonna remind her of Ilya stealing Rhaegar from her, and like it's just gonna. I didn't think of that. And I feel like Cersei's also like, yeah, she's gotten her hair cut and stuff, but I feel like she's gaining weight I feel like it's implied that she's gained weight. So I feel like she's gonna be like insecure. She's not gonna be. She's like, oh, is this the more beautiful queen to take everything that I hold dear?
Can we just for a split second? Can we rabbit trail about Cersei gaining weight? How she's drinking wine all day, and she wanted the washermen and women whipped because they were shrinking the dresses, but really she was just
gaining weight.
Wait, can we continue this rabbit hole for a second? And how Cersei sounds a lot like freaking Rhaenyra. After Rhaenyra had her kids, and they said she couldn't take the baby weight off, and how she was used to being again the realm's delay and being the hot girl, and then she wasn't.
And then who came along to take her husband? A pretty brown girl with a dragon.
I love one mixed queen.
Same.
So Cersei, like, let's say Cersei gets what you're on. Like, say Cersei gets what you're on, and Nymeria comes and takes them from her. I would die.
Oh gosh, that'd be actually pretty hilarious. But I think Nymeria kind of smell the scum on Euron. She's like, no.
Yeah, I kind of think that like Cersei will be mad at the Dornish because of Aegon. Because she's always looking for that Rhaegar.
Yeah, actually, she might even be mad at them for foiling her plans on offing Trystane in the woods to free up Myrcella.
Can we talk about how if Arianne allies herself with Fagon, like overtly, before her cousins can leave King's Landing, do you think she'll think that through? Because she could really put her cousins in danger.
I hope she thinks that through.
I hope she does, but I think she's gonna get dematized. She's
impulsive. She doesn't really think stuff. Like she thinks about stuff, but not
that thoroughly.
Not like Doran. Like where Doran thinks things through high and low and pros and cons.
She may be a little more cautious with Tyene being one of the ones in King's Landing because Tyene is her favorite.
Yeah, Tyene is her favorite.
But Tyene's at the Sept, so.
And I think that's interesting in itself, Tyene. So let's move on to Tyene Sand. So Tyene is, like, her mother was a septa, right?
Yes.
Which is another cliche. Okay, sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's just really, do you remember that old school Scooby-Doo movie where they go to that school, like an all ghoul school or whatever?
Ghoul school,
all girls.
Yeah.
And like the daughters of the famous monsters take on all of their traits. Well, they're the same creatures. This is, it has huge ghoul school vibes. Like, oh, I have this spear because my dad has a spear. Oh, my mom's a septa, so I dress in all white and I pretend to be holy and I do cross stitching. Look at my cross stitching. That particular part doesn't really do anything for me. So whenever I think of Tyene's mom being a septa, I just roll my eyes.
Well, she did get some of her mother's qualities. Like she appears to be like this pious girl. She has blonde hair.
I think blue eyes, and she's like paler.
Yeah.
And the rest of the Sand Snakes.
She comes off really pious and really innocent and sweet, but like she's more versed in poisons than any of the Sand Snakes, I believe.
Yes.
And they say she's just as deadly as Oberyn.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's interesting that all the Sand Snakes kind of have different elements of Oberyn's like skill set. Like Obara, it's like the whip and the shield. Nym is like knives. Tyene, it's poisons. And we'll get the little ones don't really have anything just yet.
I think Sorella took on his
brain.
Yeah, his thirst for knowledge, I should say.
Yes, which we'll get into a little bit more in a second. But the thing I was gonna say with Tyene, actually, I wanted to bring up, she's not here with us right now, but Nym and I were talking earlier, and she had some very interesting thoughts on Tyene I wanted to share. So, as we know, Doran is sending Nym and Tyene to King's Landing. Tyene is posing as a septa, and she believes it's to get close enough to kill Tommen. That's why. So she thinks that Doran has obviously her there going to infiltrate the Sept, but Doran and Oberyn were working together, laying a lot of plans, obviously before Oberyn's untimely death. So I believe Oberyn may have already set in motion to get her to go into the faith, because, like, mind you, he kept her, like, how do I put it? He made her upkeep that, like, the knowledge of the Book of the Seven and stuff like that, like, so she could pose very well if needed be. So I think before he passed, he might have been working something out with her anyways. And that's what we were talking about. Because there's a part where they toast to Tommen's health. And Tyene, Obara, Nym, and then there's several other, like, Dornish men that do not participate in the toast at all. Like, Tyene, like, I think Tyene doesn't even pick up her cup. Nym, like, shoos it away, and then Obara fills it, then pours it out, and then walks out or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
they hate the Lannisters.
Yeah, I'm with Nym on that one. I think Tyene or Nym, one of them's coming for Tommen. Like, Tommen's out of here.
Yeah, because I still think that they want Myrcella. They want Myrcella to be queen.
So I make Trystane her king.
So I still think that, like, that is their goal, and to kill as many Lannisters as they can without getting caught.
And that's the thing too. I think they could really infiltrate well in King's Landing. I know a lot of it has to do with the fact that George may have kind of concocted them later on during his gardening writing, but even once the sand snakes were introduced, it gives no hint that, like, it's known that Oberyn had 8 daughters, but you never hear anything about these daughters.
Yeah.
They are discreet as far as how the book is written, how the books are written so far. So they could really, Tyene would get away with looking innocent in the Sept. Because nobody really, I think her family might know what she's up to, and people that have, like, been her victim or bedded her know what she's really like, but she could get away with it.
And I just thought of is with Tyene, like, so I personally think she's poisoning either Tommen, Cersei, or Marjorie.
Or the High Septon. Or
even the High Septon. Like, she literally could poison anybody and get away with it. Like, I think Arya Hota says it, like, he always constantly watches her hands. Like, he's like, if of all the sand snakes, her hands are, like, the most slippery. So, like, I think that's kind of like George kind of planting that seed in our mind. Like, okay, let's keep an eye out for that one. Like, somebody's getting. Actually, like, I don't think it's going to be Cersei, just because I feel like Cersei's death is kind of like, unless George
it's going to be pretty climactic, I think.
Yeah, I really do hope she gets choked out. If she doesn't get choked out, like,
love that for her.
Yes. Unless it's the strangler that chokes her out.
The poison is the strangler.
How poetic, her and Joffrey die the same way.
Yes.
Oh.
That would be good.
What if Tyene as well? I kind of, like, the High Sparrow is a very manipulative man. I kind of wonder how much Tyene is going to try to manipulate him.
What if he finds her out and finds out she's not all chaste and stuff? Because we do know she's not at all.
I think she's pretty good at covering her tracks.
She'll poison all of them.
Except for Obara. I think Oberyn has himself a good brood of daughters that are smooth criminals.
Obara's just a bull in a china shop.
Yeah, she is. Like,
she's annoying. Yeah. And I don't even think it's just because she chooses not to. I think she's just,
it's her personality.
Yeah.
She's the most annoying of the sand snakes to me. Like, if she were not in the story at all, I think the world would be a better place. But here we are.
Well, let's talk about my favorite sand snake, which is probably a lot of you guys' favorite sand snake. It's Sorella Sand. So Sorella Sand is the fourth daughter of Oberyn Martell, and her mother is the captain of the Feathered Kiss ship, and her mother is from the Summer Isles. Now, the interesting thing about Sorella is that she's not in Dorne. We don't know where she is.
Yes, we do. Let's not be coy.
She's in Old Town. And the theory is that the Sphinx at the Citadel, Alaris, is Solera. So Alaris is Solera spelled backwards. I think it's so fucking obvious.
The biggest fucking giveaway.
Literally, Sorella backwards is Alaris. Like, and even not even that, like her parents. My dad's a Dornishman and my mom's a Summer Islander. The
her eyes.
Exact parentage. The Widow's Peak, and that's one thing that's mentioned about all of Oberyn's daughters have the same Widow's Peak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And who happens to also have a Widow's Peak?
Alaris.
Even just the way like Alaris is described, it's like, oh, like slight but muscular, has like a specialty is archery. She has a special bow. Also, like they always mention how kind of like cute she is a little bit. Like the girls, like all the girls around are like, "Ooh, Alaris is so cute," and it's like, do they realize Alaris is also a girl? But
and it doesn't like I think it's says that Sorella is always like pushing herself into places she doesn't belong, and the Citadel is an all-male institution, and she's a female. So, but if we believe,
I have hold on, I have a description right here. Thank you. See, Nim's not even on, but his mother, a black-skinned Summer Islander. His own skin was dark as teak, and like the green marble sphinxes and flanked the Citadel's main gate. Alaris had eyes of onyx.
And Oberyn's eyes are described just the same as that.
Yeah, and it's not in that quote, but there's also another quote that describes Alaris as having a widow's peak as well, and like short, cropped, curly hair, which would make sense because I feel like you'd have to keep the hair short to kind of like move on it, like like long hair might give it away a little bit.
I think that we are like buffering right now.
Uh-oh.
I've seen a couple people in the chat say they lost us.
Someone said mine froze too.
Yeah. Can we get someone in the chat to confirm if we're back up and running?
Can y'all hear me?
Nim said it buffered and came back. You ladies are back. Are we good? We're good, guys? Okay.
Oh, I was about to say some suggestive things. Okay.
All right, cool.
So I think that it is. Like, I feel like if it's not, then it was supposed to be, and he changed his mind. But there's definitely a lot of evidence pointing to, like, also, even when they ask, like, when they ask Doran, like, why isn't, when he imprisons all the sand snakes, and they're like, well, Alaris or Sorella is a woman grown. Like, Ariel's like, are you gonna go get her? And he's like, she's beyond my reach. She's not in Dorne. Just like, I just hope she isn't as stupid.
Yeah, just let her play her game.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I was going to mention there is a quote I forgot to pull it up, but where Arianne is like reflecting on her, Tyene, and Sorella's time at the Water Gardens. And she's like, oh, her father taught Tyene how to milk like venom for a snake, and at the same time Sorella was asking questions about like every little thing, like, oh, where did these people come from, who built this, who did this, like wanting to know, like constantly questioning, inquisitive. Mm-hmm. Also, Oberyn served time at the not served time, it can sound like jail, but Oberyn
forged some links.
Oberyn forged some links. He did a bid. No, I'm just kidding. Oberyn forged links at the Citadel fairly quickly. Mm-hmm. And they say Alaris or Sorella has been, I'm just going to say Sorella. Sorella has been at the Citadel for a year and has already forged 3 links.
Yeah.
Which is fairly quick.
That's very quick.
She definitely inherited her dad's intelligence. But the quote I actually found I wanted to bring up was the one from Sam that Maester Aemon says to him when he's having like his like kind of like last dreams, if you will.
On the Cinnamon Wind.
On the Cinnamon Wind, when he's like, the Sphinx is the riddle, not the Riddler. And then the Sam, when he first meets Alaris at the Citadel, Alaris says, "Oh, my name's Alaris," or some people call me the Sphinx. And then he goes, "The name gave Sam a jolt. The Sphinx is the riddle, not the Riddler," he blurted. "Do you know what that means?" "No, is it a riddle?" "I wish I knew." It's like, okay, so why did Maester Aemon know that?
Like, do you think it was something given to him, sent to
Could
him?
be. I mean, Targaryens are not genetically, heretically.
They have prophetic dreams.
Yes, thank you. They're prophets.
So
I don't know why, but I just got this. Oh,
in different places. What were we gonna say?
Oh, I just got this sudden headcanon of when Euron goes to attack Old Town, and Sam is doing his whole whimsical survival thing. I just imagine Sorella saving his life and being like, "Get up, fat boy." I don't know.
We're going to porn.
Marwyn does tell Alaris to look out for Sam. Like when he's on his way, he's like, "Hey, keep an eye on him." But I was gonna say I have
go ahead.
A couple thoughts, just quick thoughts about how Maester Aemon may have known this, and let me know what you guys think. One being Marwyn sent it to him in a dream using a glass candle to manipulate Sam. Another one just being Targaryen, having like Targaryen ESP, if you will. And the last idea that I possibly had is I think there might have been some little secret society
in the Citadel,
within the Citadel, and maybe some others that really are trying to bring about this prince that was promised to the fold. Because Maester Aemon says a lot of suspicious stuff right before he died, literally as he's getting ready to die.
Yeah, he does.
Sam about the prince that was promised, it's Dany, somebody needs to help her. He's like, no one ever looked for a girl, Septon Barth had it right. So it's it seems like this is kind of a continued search for this prince that was promised, because it kind of, to me, gives indication of Summerhall, because how he talks about how he put it in Rhaegar's head that it was Rhaegar, and then Rhaegar was like, "No, it's my son," and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And he talks about the danger of dragon dreams, and he talks about his brothers having the dragon dreams, and they killed them, every one of them.
But he also mentions the dragon having 3 heads when he's talking about all this. And one of the things Alaris says when in the prologue of A Feast for Crows to Pate, and I think it's Pate Mullendor or whatever, when they're talking about Dany's dragons, the first thing she says, the dragon has 3 heads. And I was like, this is the same book. That's the beginning of the book. And towards the end of the book is when it's repeated again. And it's like, all right, what do you guys got going on over here? Because I'm pretty sure Marwyn knows who she is.
Well, he has to know who she is because he has that glass candle. So he's seeing shit that he's seeing shit worlds away, or miles and miles and miles away. But this is kind of where what I want to ask you guys and the chat. If Sorella is Alaris, it's like Champ. It sounds like Champ's murdering something. if Sorella is Alaris, what is she doing there? What is her motivation for being there? Is she being there just because she wants to learn? Or does she have a bigger plan? Because I find with all of the Sand Snakes, all of the Dornish characters, they always say they're going for one thing, but there's always a secondary plan. We know Oberyn is going to kill Dark Star. But she's going to kill as many people as she can because she's a brute like that. And we know Nymeria is going to King's Landing to take Myrcella, or Nymeria and Tyene are going to King's Landing to return Myrcella, to take Oberyn's seat, and Tyene wants to get close to the faith. Nym wants to see what's going on at King's Landing. And all of this is to further a goal and a plot of Doran's. So I feel like Sorella is working on her own, but what is her goal?
I personally think Sorella and Oberyn had a plan together because she
too.
had been there. She's been at the Citadel for at least a year. So Oberyn hasn't been dead that long yet. So Oberyn and Doran knows where she's at as well. I'm in my heart, like I said earlier, I think Marwyn knows who she is, and I think that's because Oberyn and Marwyn are probably cool because they seem like they're into the same shit. And Marwyn would have been old enough to teach Oberyn some stuff, so I would not be surprised if they had a relationship. And when he went to send his daughter there, he kind of at least had somebody that he felt he could trust, but that was also kind of an oddball within the Citadel. He's like, I treat Marwyn as the Qui-Gon Jinn of like the Maesters. Like he technically is in, but he's still like his own like rogue character
and
within the system. So he's willing to break some rules. So I feel like Alaris is clearly very intelligent, and like the only thing that would hold her back from being a Maester is if people found out she was a woman. It's not that she's not capable. Like shit, she's more capable than Pate.
And Marwyn knows, like Marwyn, we already know that Marwyn has no problem educating women on things because he taught Miriam Mazdor some shit, some anatomy and physiology. Go ahead, Alicia.
Honestly, I think she's just vibing. I think she wanted to learn. She wanted that higher education. She pulled a Mulan, dressed up as a boy, and she went to. Plus, I do think like it doesn't escape her that it would be very beneficial to her family if she went and studied at the Citadel. I think that it's not that there aren't advantages. It's not that there isn't some plan, but I think her primary motivation for going to the Citadel is just because she wanted to. Like, I think that is so Oberyn doing things just because you fucking feel like it.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And I feel like the way they describe her, even from as a child, like she was very like scholarly. So yeah, it makes sense that she would just want to go, and her dad supported her dreams and her hopes. All right, can we just talk about how everybody thinks Ned's like the best dad in the world, and it's really Oberyn? I'm calling it out. Oberyn's the best dad in Westeros. Minus the
he does not limit his daughters. He does not limit them.
Because he doesn't limit his daughters. He makes sure they're very educated on how the world actually works. Like, I don't see like Oberyn's daughters being like super, super stupid compared to some other people's kids. Like, I'm pretty positive, like, if Oberyn's daughters were a boy and got somebody pregnant, they wouldn't go forfeiting, their olds and stuff. Rob.
So happy birthday, Queen Kells 1120.
Yes. I was like, that was a rant.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Happy birthday. I think Oberyn is one of the best dads. Like, he's damn sure no Randall Tarley's, no Tywin Lannister. I think Brianna Tarth's dad is good.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alicia.
I did not mean to cut you off, Ara. ADHD is kicking my ass today, and I knew that if I didn't say happy birthday, I'd forget to, and then I'd look like an asshole co-host. Okay. So I was like, I gotta say happy birthday before I forget, because I'm so sorry, girl.
It's okay. It's okay. I started going on a rant about Oberyn because I love him so much.
I waited until it felt like it was dying down, though, and then I'm like, happy birthday.
We have a super chat from Jacqueline Cruz. Besides revenge of the death of Ilya, her children, and Oberyn, what do you believe is the Martell's endgame? So I feel like they will be like how they are now, where they're not technically part of the Seven Kingdoms. They are, but they aren't, and I think it's gonna kind of stay like that, because I think they're gonna suffer a little bit if they link up with Aegon. Go ahead, Alicia.
Oh, I just had this thought about how I think like their end game is just revenge and going back to doing their own thing like they always have, just like Sorella, just kind of vibing. But did you ever think about the fact that pretty much all of the Martells and their bastards are Scorpios?
Are they?
Think about it. And they're
in the desert
too. And they're in the desert too. Like, they're all Scorpios.
Oh, I was gonna say
they're hypersexual. They're obsessed with revenge. they're obsessed with the things they're obsessed with, like poison,
obsessed.
Absolutely obsessed, and they're very intense.
Yeah,
they're Scorpios.
Yeah. The maths,
and they're obsessed with death.
Or they could be Geminis.
Or
they look like they like leather.
Or they could be
I feel like Tyene is a Gemini.
I don't know. One of my friends refers to Scorpios as leather jackets, and now I can never think of them as any other word. But no, the thing I was gonna say was with that Spain. Yeah, it is exactly. It's exactly what it is.
I thought
Spain back when it was. Well, I mean, they'll figure the water gardens were shot at the Alhambra, which was built by the Moors in Spain. You were gonna say something totally wrong.
I thought that said Doran, so I read that as a name instead of Moor Spain. So I was like, oh gosh.
But I was gonna answer that other super chat because before Alicia went on her Scorpio tangent, I just had something to say. But oh shit, what did it say? Can you bring it back? I'm so sorry.
Let me see. She was asking what their end game, besides revenge of the death of Elia, her children, and Oberyn. What do you believe the Martell's end game?
Revenge.
This is Doran. No, Doran has fingers in every freaking power pot right now.
I think he's gonna die.
Cool. No, hold on. I want to get into. Yeah, he's probably gonna die. But anyways, I was getting super excited about this because I realized it earlier. Doran sent his son to Daenerys' camp, sent two children to Aegon's camp, sending one to the Lannister Tyrell camp, sending one to the Faith. So he's literally putting a pawn in. Oh, and the one that's in Old Town, which is the Macers. So minus like the North and like the Eyrie, but they don't really care about that because it's cold and they don't deal with that kind of stuff. But at least the power pockets that they're willing to deal with, like the the Game of Thrones, if you will. He has a puppet in every single like major plot.
Yeah.
In camp.
He's putting an egg in every basket.
An egg in every single basket. So one, he can get intel about everybody and what they're all doing because he's someone there. And it gets me excited. Exactly. Doran is playing 40 Syvass. Seriously. Like he has them pieces everywhere. Obviously, he says, like, you know, when you're playing the Game of Thrones, the game can change at any minute. So obviously he lost his piece over he lost Quentin, but he didn't lose all his pieces in Marine, if you will, because I believe two of Quentin's friends are still alive, right? The cute one, Garrus, right? Drinkwater. A tall drink of water. But him and I forgot the other one that's still alive. But Dany thinks Garrus is hot, so maybe something might happen there. Not much, but she might he might ride the dragon once.
That's why I feel like him sending Arianne to Aegon makes me feel like he is most hopeful about Aegon.
Yeah, and it makes sense because he's already there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Iron Throne is kind of a patriarchy at the end of the day, so like.
But I'm with Alicia. Like, what happens to Tyene and Nym if Arianne comes out like with Fagon?
I think she would think that through, though. She's not gonna put
Tyene. I don't
she's
think she's
impulsive, but she's not. Yeah, she's not stupid, and she's not like she's selfish, but literally, I think she'd be able to. It's literally someone she loves, like top tier people she loves. She'll think that through.
Well, if Tommen's
she likes them more than her brothers.
If Tommen's dead, would it make a difference?
Well, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
It still make a difference, even if
Cersei.
Because then now she's openly opposing her brother, kind of. Yeah. Because if they put Myrcella on the throne.
Well, that's the thing. I can totally see Cersei going for maybe some sort of power grab before they put Myrcella on the throne, per se. But I mean, even if Myrcella was out of the... I saw a comment that, anyway, even if Myrcella was still in the picture, out of the picture, Cersei's going to see that as a slight. And because here's the thing, there are still Lannisters that she would want in power, even if something happens to Tommen. Cersei sees her family as owning the throne.
Great Council 101. Great Council of 101. If Stannis is still alive, the lords are going to push for him to be the king over Myrcella because he's the last living male heir.
Assuming he's still alive at that point.
Assuming if he is still, if
Yep.
Stannis outlives Tom, and the lords may call him in because they would rather put, I guarantee at that point, well, I shouldn't say guarantee at that point because I think Fagon's going to come in and just change all that anyways, but I could see if Tommen dies, that being a contention and maybe them pulling together a council.
I think Tommen is going to die so early and wins.
Oh, yeah, he's going to die, so I'm very interested to see what happens after, because if he dies, by law, at that point, it would, even if we know that they're bastards, but the greater realm doesn't, but at that point now, it literally is technically Stannis' turn.
Yeah, Cersei's not going to have a choice. However, I think that Stannis' hands are going to be tied as...
Oh, yeah, he's not going to be able to... Oh, how tragic would it be that he finally gets called to go take the throne and he dies?
That's some shit George would do. Suffer, kill.
I want it so bad. I want him to get the letter and then die.
Cue that Alanis Morissette song.
Ironic.
I agree with Jaime Lannister. No way they pick Stannis. I don't think they'll pick Stannis.
They wouldn't want to,
because they just don't like him. They don't like
the law. But the law.
They don't care about the law.
They don't. But I honestly don't think Cersei's going to be able to hold that much power. So, like, if she's going against the rest of the Tyrells at court,
by the time here's
but see,
the thing.
Fagon's going to ruin all.
We were speaking in hypotheticals about how Arianne would ally with Aegon in the event that she bangs him because she's going to bang him. She's kind of hypersexual like that. However, it won't get to the point where they call in Stannis, because Fagon is definitely going to fly in on his figurative or literal dragon, and he's going to take King's Landing. So
he definitely would take it.
Secession is not going to be a fucking issue by the time Tommen dies. Yeah.
I just want to troll, but now I actually kind of want to just see Stannis get a letter, and just the letter gets sent before Aegon arrives. I'm like, yeah, you could come. Just kidding. This kid took it instead. You were too slow.
Sorry. Maybe next time.
Gotta be quicker than that. Like,
like the commercial, like the insurance commercial.
This is an Iron Throne. Someone's a fishing pole with Iron Throne just dangling in front of Stannis. Oh my god. Let me get that.
So real quick, let's just talk about, because we're winding down now. Let's talk about the last 4 sand snakes real quick. Hold on. It's Ilya. So the last 4 are by Alaria. And it's Ilya, Obella, Dorea, and Loreza.
Yes.
And they're young.
I don't know why I thought one was called Dora. Okay.
But Elia's 14 and then Doria's 12. So Elia is the one that is currently escorting Arianne.
Yeah.
She's the one that's like half horse and whatnot. But I personally think Elia is Gonzo's.
Oh, you think she's gonna die?
I think she's gonna have like an early tragic death. Like, I just think that's just probably a bad luck name to have. But just like the way she's described and the way she behaves, she's like very rambunctious. She doesn't listen. Flirtatious. She's kissing. What is it? Feathers.
Mm-hmm.
The kid who takes care of the ravens, like.
And I think like she was flirting with somebody like on the boat, and Arianne's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like, stop
it. Something I can now appreciate about that chapter, because I know Arianne is just kind of like, this girl is mind-numbingly annoying. Oh wait, this is how it is. This me? Is this how I acted? That's how I feel at work when I'm dealing with like a particularly complicated child. I'm like, is this karma for when I was in school? Is this
Micah McFadden said that she's gonna get Aegon. She's gonna get Fagon.
Elia?
Like you think she's gonna fuck him?
Wouldn't that be a
that would
twist?
Piss Arianne off.
Also, what if he's like a freaking creep? And I was like, well, that's my mom's name. Like, ew. Like,
I mean, there are guys out there that like have some serious Norma Bates shit going on in their psyche.
How old is he? Because I know
he's 16.
Ariane's definitely older than Rhaenys, because they said she held Rhaenys as a 17. Baby. So he's technically he'd be closer in age with her. She's 14.
Yeah.
Okay. I have
Mabes. She might try. I don't know. They might try together because
it just got so quiet while we're like.
Because I was say her and Tyene tried when they were little with some boy at the same time, because they were being little
hoes,
little nasty.
Wait, I could have sworn they did share a boy when they were younger.
No, so that he.
Oh, that's right. He got too excited, and he
got too excited when Tyene was taking his pants off.
Okay. Yeah.
So Tyene was taking
because that was some bad.
Say it, bitch. Say it, bitch.
I've held out so
You went longer than anybody thought you would. You could say it now.
I'm going to keep going because I love proving people fucking wrong means the world to
You
me.
proved everyone wrong.
I want to prove them wrong further. I want to blow their fucking minds.
More than 30
Yeah,
minutes.
And they can all kiss my ass.
We have a super chat from Josh Gright. Thank you, Josh, for the super chat. Appreciation super chat. DireWolfCity, always a highlight of my week. Peace, love, and positive vibes to everyone. So wrapping up this episode, did you guys have anything you wanted to add that we didn't cover about the sand snakes?
Trying to think. Yeah, they're about to kill a lot of people. That's just kind of the gist of it. But no, I'm really excited to see where their story goes. Oh, I have a question. Who do you guys think is going to die
Jesus
first?
Christ, y'all want me to say that so fucking bad, don't you? No, y'all have already.
I think Oberyn is going to die first.
I do too.
Yes, Oberyn, and then Oberyn again in someone's memory, because I would
we
really
just
like
want that bitch to die.
Oberyn,
because I would really like that.
Do you think Sorella will go north?
She's
quite possibly.
If Sam goes north, if Sam goes north, and Marwyn's told him, look out for Sam, and then Sam puts her D with everything he knows that's going on up north, she might, just out of curiosity.
She knows. He told her already.
Look at Mandy. I'll do it. Bad pussy. Thank you for the super chat, Mandy.
So Edric Storm just said check Twitter, and I did, and he made a meme. He made a meme. Okay, I'll post it later, but it's that Simpsons. It's like, say the line, Alicia. And I don't know, where did you get this picture? Jesus Christ. Okay, probably Instagram. Okay.
How will Tyene and Nymeria die? I actually think Tyene is going to live.
I think Tyene will make it up. I think Nymeria might overstep her boundaries, especially say what you guys want about Cersei. Cersei's a survivor.
That's one thing that woman knows how to do. Tyene is more in trouble than Nymeria, because Tyene is going to try to manipulate a master manipulator. And I don't know, maybe we've already seen the whole, script being flipped with the High Sparrow, however.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because that kind of reminds me of
poison him off the jump.
I hope she does poison him, but I just thought the Kettle Black, the one that Cersei had sent to snitch on Marjorie, but then he ends up.
Osme.
I always confuse them. I really do. The Oz's Kettle
Black. Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah. But I think that what's it called? Yeah, if they start torturing her, she might start singing too.
Yeah,
or she'll be like, "Harder, Daddy." She's a Scorpio. I need you to keep this in mind.
This is what I like, Daddy. This is what I like, High Sparrow. No punishment.
You did. This is my guy.
Do you want to know why? Because Tyene is a bad pussy.
Yay! She said it.
She said it.
So next week, Sunday, who are we covering, guys? This is where you get to vote.
I mean, I told you guys already off stream, but my vote is for the Maesters exclusively because we touched on them a little bit here. We touched on them a little bit with Sam, but I think we need to take a closer look at those gray-robed rats a little bit more.
So put a rat if you want the Maesters. My vote is for the Golden Company and everything that encompasses. So if you want the Golden Company, put a skull. Alicia.
And what was my vote last week?
Sand snakes.
No, it wasn't. That was
me. Oh wait, was it him? I remember.
I think it was Alicia too. Okay.
Maybe. What was seriously, can someone remind me? It was really important to me, but I don't remember.
Yours the faith? Somebody mentioned the faith. Was that yours?
Oh yeah, it was the faith. It was you. That was yours, the faith militant. The high sparrows and all of that.
We threw out like 5 different options, I'm pretty sure. There were 4 of us, but we threw out 5 options.
The Golden Company was one last week.
I'm gonna go back and
yeah,
check it.
No, the faith was definitely another one.
The faith was one. The sand snakes were one.
Yeah, I just threw the Maesters in this.
Oh, Littlefinger. Someone said Littlefinger was one.
I don't want to talk about him. What is Chloe always says? Get a job.
Yeah, so I think those 3 are cool. So Golden Company, skull, rats for the Citadel. I probably should have made the Maesters books. I'd probably been nicer, but
no, rats are good.
But I think rats are good.
Rats are good.
Sneakies. And then the faith. What did we make the faith last time?
A bird, a sparrow.
A bird.
I thought we made it a start. Oh, Theon.
Oh,
Theon. Yeah. Theon. That's my vote.
It was a squid. So if you want Theon, put a squid. Mandy, if you're in the chat, what do you want for next week? So the Golden Company put a skull. The Maesters put a rat. Theon put a squid. And whatever Mandy picks. If she's still in the chat. There's a lot of squids coming through.
Oh, she's put Maesters, rats, Golden Company skull, and then Theon for a hot dog.
Hot dog. She's such a bitch. No, Peter, Theon. All right, guys. So get your votes in. And that's whoever gets the most votes. It looks like it's going to be Theon.
That's a lot of squids. I told you it was important to me. I just didn't quite.
Whoever
how
wins,
they say you don't always remember events. You just remember how you feel. I just remember feeling that we really needed to do that particular character. I just couldn't remember who the character was. I told you ADHD was kicking my ass today.
Yes.
Yeah, no, Theon's a big guy. We should have given him his own episode when we did the North, but
yeah, we put him in.
Look at us, we're circling back.
So now that we're winding down, Reflective Ramblings did ask how the astrology correlation episode was going. Are we still doing that?
Did we
remember we were going to talk about? Yeah, we were going to talk about.
Yeah, we were going to talk about that in post-production. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't think
we've already talked about it publicly because somebody asked about it in the chat.
No, we didn't.
No, because somebody asked about it in the chat, which
you mentioned it publicly after we talked about it privately on Tony's stream one time.
Was I drunk?
Because I was there. I was in the stream. I was in the stream, and I was like, Alicia, that was.
Was I drunk?
So that is that. I will say that is something that we are planning that we're doing on Ara's channel. That's ours. Yeah. Ours planning that, getting that all together.
We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it. We'll update y'all on it when we know more about it.
I could have sworn we talked about this publicly. Yeah, because somebody mentioned it in the chat, so we had to have.
No. Somebody had tweeted me a suggestion about doing that. And that's
See?
Yeah. But anyways, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later.
I asked on Twitter.
Vote. Thank you. Yeah, vote, you guys. Do your votes. Catch us Wednesdays. This week will be my channel for American Horror Story.
Yeah, so Wednesday. If you guys watch American Horror Story, check out R's channel. She has theory videos on there. Check out my theory videos on American Horror Story. But also Wednesday, right after the episode, we will be live streaming on R's channel. And we had like so much fun last week. So if you guys watch it, and this week is the part 1 finale, so it's gonna be lit.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, subscribe to our channel so you can come and watch the stream. Yeah. And then vote for who you want us to talk about next week. Alicia, any announcements?
Is that you prompting me to make an announcement?
I'm asking, do you have any?
No, nothing new since last week, but if you want me to do it again, I don't know. I'm bad at promo. Yeah, we're still doing the thing. So keep an eye out for the thing that we're doing aside from this thing. It's going to be a thing. It's going to be lit.
All the
it's
things.
Gonna be preposterous.
It's called Preposterous AF, guys. The podcast is called Preposterous AF.
I thought we were going to talk about it in post-production.
Like we've been talking about it every week on here. Every week. So yeah, so it's coming. It's coming. Alan Thompson asks, is Quinn gonna be back on Obsidian Nights? So let me tell you about Obsidian Nights real quick. So and I have another question. When does Obsidian Nights? Okay, so let me tell you about Obsidian Nights real quick. So Obsidian Nights is a big, massive, huge project for me. It's a lot of work for me to do, but I've done it. Like Mandy, straight scheduled me, marathoned me out to do episodes. I recorded last week. I recorded 3 episodes. I recorded one yesterday morning, but I recorded last week Danny 10 with Quinn. So me and Quinn recorded The Birth of Dragons, and that will be the finale of Game of Thrones. I'm planning on dropping all of the Obsidian Nights episodes at one time to finish Game of Thrones so you guys can binge watch them. They're almost all done with the exception of 2 chapters, which I plan on recording this week, and just going to drop them all for you guys. I know a lot of you like to get the podcast on YouTube, and I like to give them to you on YouTube, but sometimes with my schedule and stuff, I can't put them on YouTube. So if you listen to Apple, Spotify, anywhere you listen to a podcast, you can hear it on those media players. So please don't be mad at me if I don't put it on YouTube. It's still free. You don't have to pay for it. Just Spotify it, iTunes for free. You can still listen to it. And I really appreciate you guys. Also, I'm working on a video on one of my favorite shows that is called Euphoria. I don't know if you've watched Euphoria, but I did a video behind the psychology of Euphoria and just breaking down why it's so popular. So that will be coming, and I'm trying to really focus on just making content for you guys and DireWolfCity, and I'm really excited to do Preposterous with my friends. So content is coming, and that's my announcement. That's my announcement. So you guys will be getting Obsidian. I'll try to put it on YouTube, but if I can't, Spotify, iTunes, Apple, anywhere, it'll be there for you. And I will see you guys next week. Ara, did you have any announcements?
Yeah, just look out for my weekly uploads. I eat zebra, on everything and whatnot. But yeah, so I should be having a new video. I'm working on it now. Should be out hopefully Tuesday, Wednesday morning at the latest. So keep an eye out for that.
All right. All right, guys. Well, we will see you. Me and Ara will see you Wednesday, but DireWolfCity will see you next Sunday. Have a good week.
And a good bad pussy.
Yeah! Yay!
One for the road.